But moving on, with it being March Madness, we've decided to come up with our own March Madness of the worst 64 games ever made in the universe of video game history.
Not Nintendo 64.
Not Nintendo 64, but just 64.
Wow, you gotta love all the
which we will do
games.
next week since March Madness is in, and we're basically doing the March Madness of the worst video games ever made. So check that out next week.
We're pretty much just going to... Oh, sorry. Pretty much how it's going to work is we're going to pick 64 games that we think is the worst, and then we're going to vote between each game, seeing that there's 3 of us, obviously. 2 rules out over 1.
Right.
We're going to vote it off. So, stick tuned to that. Stick
tuned. Anyway.
But yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Moving on to the final portion of our show is going to be our head-to-head. Last week it was Battlefield Bad Company 2 and Modern Warfare 2. Battlefield Bad Company 2 won, obviously. But we're going to change it up with going to something a little bit older. Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat.
That's a good one.
I'm going to have to go with Street Fighter. The only reason why I'm still going with Street Fighter, I mean, granted, I love Mortal Kombat. I have all 3 games at home. I still have the original case for Mortal Kombat 3.
33%
more gore.
33% gore.
Yeah.
But
and the gore.
I will have to go with Street Fighter just because the fact that Mortal Kombat is gone now. Midway pretty much ruined that with Mortal Kombat vs. DC. I mean, the fatalities were horrible in the game. It was a routine game.
Once you saw it was rated
Team, yeah.
You were like,
all Mortal Kombat's known to man are rated M, and they pretty much were just like, well, we're gonna say no to this one, so bye. They're owned by Warner Brothers now, and Street Fighter 4 was a pretty good game. Played the demo on Xbox Live when I had the chance. It was a pretty good game. Reminds me of the old school style, and I still go back to the Sega and play Street Fighter 2. So yeah, I'm going to have to vote for Street Fighter just because for the fact that it's still running, and I'm sure they're going to make more games.
Also down the street from us, there's tournaments going on every year for Street Fighter
exactly.
4. So people really like that game a lot, so that's a good choice.
My choice, I'm not even going to pay attention to the newer versions. I'm going to go to the old school, to the first Street Fighter 2 for Sega versus the Street Fighter, the Mortal Kombat 2 for Sega, and I'm going to go with Mortal Kombat. Just the fact that I'm not talking about now. Of course, now obviously he just pointed out that DC Universe
just took a shit.
Yeah, it just completely ruined the franchise of Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna have to go with Mortal Kombat. If you look at the time when the 2 games came out. Don't get me wrong, I love Street Fighter. I mean, who doesn't love dying in slow motion as you go? Yeah, who doesn't love that? But then who doesn't love, the awesome fatalities that Mortal Kombat 2 had? And of course, remember, the 33% gore. So, I mean, my choice is going to have to go with Mortal Kombat 2 for this one. Or Mortal Kombat, I'm sorry, in general. Yeah.
Well, it's a tough choice between the 2 because... I mean, obviously they're great games, but I've always been a fan of Street Fighter, so it's gonna be Street Fighter for me. Bought the new one.
I knew that was coming.
Bought the new one, and I was just like, "This is awesome." I played some kids online with it, really like it a lot. I'm a bigger Street Fighter fan than Mortal Kombat.
But do you think if Mortal Kombat would have came out with one that wasn't including the DC franchise, if they would have just came out with like a new Mortal Kombat on 360,
it would be close, but I still like Street Fighter better because I like Hadoukens.
I would have still liked Mortal Kombat if they would have came out with new characters, and I know they're even talking about doing a movie soon, but pretty much they just ruined it by joining with DC.
And not only that, but in Street Fighter, you can sandbag people, but not as bad as in Mortal Kombat.
Well, you can sandbag in every fighting game.
Yeah, but nowhere near as much as Mortal Kombat. You could just get up and you're dead.
But I mean, the thing is, that you could have done that with any game and it would have fell. I mean, even if you put DC versus Street Fighter, it would have fell. People would not have bought that game.
Marvel was like, let's kick it up a notch, do Marvel versus Capcom. That game was like epic.
Oh,
so.
yeah.
Well, yeah.
It's just DC just sucks.
I mean, I think I would have rather bought the new Tekken 6 over
I agree, yeah.
Yeah.
Tekken was always my favorite.
I always loved Tekken.
Yeah.
So.
Tekken 2 was always
I
the best.
love playing as a dinosaur.
or King. King was always one of the best.
You gotta love that epic Tekken 2's opening montage.
Oh God, that was.
You gotta love it. Gotta love it.
The yo-yo.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Finds his mask in the trash can.
Yeah, it's pretty epic stuff.
But
you know, I mean, it's a good one, but
yep, Street Fighter is definitely gonna win this one.
Whoa, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's a good battle because it definitely goes into the best games ever.
If it wasn't for Mortal Kombat just failing on this last one, I would have went with Mortal Kombat. But I mean, you got to look at it.
To be honest with you, I'm kind of shocked you guys both didn't go for Mortal Kombat. I thought I was going to be alone this week again, but
no.
Street Fighter it's just been great. I mean, I don't think there's ever been a bad Street Fighter game.
And maybe besides the one on NES.
Yeah,
the
but
2012
I don't
one.
count that one because that's not even a game.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, it is the worst one.
Oh, yeah, that's the worst one for sure.
I'm sure that would be on the list next
worst
week.
game.
But, all right, moving on to the end of the show, we'll definitely have a new head-to-head next week. Shout out of the week for you guys.
Oh boy. I'm gonna have to go for shout out of the week. Is gonna definitely be Operation Flashpoint. Picked it up. Awesome single player. Really like it. It really makes you think and kind of, if you run out and like Call of Duty and be like, oh, I'm going to go kill that guy, they will destroy you because the AI is actually really good in that game. Wish there's more than, one person on multiplayer, but...
Hey, I'm camping.
Yeah,
no one can find me.
I'm camping, and guess what? My AI is just standing next to me. But it's a good game, and I definitely recommend you pick it up for the price, so... That's my shout out.
You know what's actually, before we go into more, you know what's actually shocking surprise is, didn't GameStop do a commercial for that? Did they do for Flashpoint?
I think they did.
I think they did, yeah.
Which is shockingly weird because most games that GameStop does usually do really well.
That's because they were expecting...
With AVP coming up, I don't think that game's going to do good either.
AVP already came out.
Yeah, I don't think it's...
AVP was...
Yeah, so...
Yeah, it was...
But, your shout out of the week?
Why don't you go first?
Kick things up a notch.
Alright.
How about the game you just picked up this week that you've been like
I'm not even going to do that one. I'm going to do shout out to the horrible fucking creators at 2K. I hate you so much because I own NBA 2K10. I was like, hey, let's pick up something I've never played before. I've always gotten NBA Live. I mean, that's one of the EA Sports games I love. I have 2K. I'm to a certain point in my career as my player, and I just cannot get past it.
What do you mean?
It just freezes every time.
Really?
I've tried different discs. I've even tried different Xboxes. It's just like, you're not going on to this point, so you have to restart. My guy is literally an 80. He's 80 right now. And it took me a whole year. I played 82 games. You have to play every game. Every game. Wow. And they're just like, bye. I don't care about you.
They did come out match.
Yeah.
All right.
The week for the first one is going to go to Bayonetta. We recently picked it up. Game's pretty awesome.
Since we don't have internet, it's probably, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a fun game to play.
It makes up for God of War since we don't have doorstop.
It is. It's pretty fun. I mean, just some of the crazy shit that happens in that game. It almost reminds me of The Darkness, too, a little bit.
Yeah, she uses her hair, so...
Yeah, and it turns into this huge dragon and just bites heads off people. It's pretty awesome.
I have to let you borrow it.
Yeah.
But, other shout out of the week?
My other shout out of the week is going to the creators of Mafia. Fuck you guys. Not only has it been like years since you finally decided to create a second title, but back to what he was saying with games freezing, I picked up my copy of Mafia out of my closet, and I'm like, oh, I haven't played this game in a while. I put it in and go to the same game that I've had from years, like a year ago. I start playing, and like within 5 seconds, I'm already dead. I'm like, oh yeah, you know what? I remember why I put this away. Because I'm glitched in a point to where I can't play the game anymore because I died at a certain checkpoint, and every time it goes to restart from that point, I'm already dead.
What happened is that I got shot, and the car kept going, and then it got to the checkpoint, and it's like, me to get out of the car, and then it's like, This has been this week's SuperBit Sunday. I'm Billy Mitchell X. That's the correct way to say it.
4 X's, but yeah. All right, go ahead.
Go Cavaliers! Clinch the Eastern Conference home court advantage. I'm Mr. Awesome.
I'm CSR Magnum, and I got